Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Lyle here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right, in honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions watching it for the first time and reliving my summer memories through the years. Today's episodes are Phineas and Ferb Interrupted and A Real Boy. So first up we have The Boys Are Boring. How are you coming down on this one?
Jacob, let me tell you, this is the most boring episode of Phineas and Ferb I've ever seen
All right.
in my life.
Of all time?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
It's very boring.
Okay.
But intentionally so.
You know, the boys were boring, but the situation surrounding it, not so much.
Yeah. That was pretty mundane otherwise, though. It was kind of mundane with really boring moments, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which points out that's the point.
Exactly.
That's the point. Yep. They were boring.
Yep.
And of all days, too. All right, so let's get into it.
All right, so Linda wants to be a good mom. She wants to spend the day with her wacky daughter. She wants to spend the day with Candace. And of course, with Candace, what does she do? She wants to bust her brother, so she has the prime opportunity. Linda's going to be by her side, in tow, doing whatever Candace wants, just pulling up a couple lawn chairs and watching the boys do their stuff. But there's one issue.
They're watching grass grow.
Yeah, that's not really gonna. That's a Rolling Stone. That's not gonna. It's a Rolling Stone that's only gathering algae.
It's like, well, it's a stationary stone.
Yeah,
it's a stone that's not doing anything. It's basically.
Yeah.
like even everyone comes in as surprised, like what they're doing. It's like watching grass grow. It's like it's very good. Yeah, some interesting stuff they're doing. Just watching grass grow.
So I'm just going to tell you up front right now, this is the most boring podcast we're ever going to do.
Well, okay.
All right, at least half of it is. It's the most boring half of a podcast anyone's ever listened to. So I hope no one's driving right now.
Put them to sleep.
Yep. If anyone is driving, I hope it's someone we don't like.
Dang.
Yeah.
Anyway. Insert person we don't like here.
Yeah, he's not watching though.
Yeah.
It would just be too great for me. Anyway,
that person.
Yeah, that person. He knows who he is.
Then they discover the joys of lint rollers.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Oh, yes, right. Lint rollers.
Yeah, we've used lint rollers before, right, Dragon?
Yes, but I didn't fully appreciate the lint roller. See, folks, let me tell you the long history of the lint roller. So, the lint roller, it's this string of tape on a brush, basically on a brush handle, and you just kind of move it there, and you get like all sorts of little debris and little they kind of call them pillings, like on the clothing. After a while, after you wash it for a long period of time, you get these little balls of fabric that are on the ends of it, and they're very unseemly. But you have your lint brush, and that's going to get rid of them all. This is this fascinating conversation.
Yeah, very good background information we got there.
Yes.
But yeah, so Buford points out like as if they've been hit by a dull and boring ray.
And and then the platypus got wise.
As it turns out, yes, they did.
So apparently Perry got the episode started earlier than we all we're led on to believe. So he had already foiled Doofenshmirtz, and this is the end result.
Yep, we missed his original musical number, which apparently was a big bombastic musical number about a dull and boring inator.
Yeah, which seems apropos, but yeah.
Yep. So it turns out he foiled the plan, as you do, and it turns out it hit the boys.
Yep. Yes, it did.
So Perry does something that probably no one would ever suspect. He goes to help Doofenshmirtz rebuild the device.
So this is hilarious. This is very much kind of like Tom and Jerry getting along for a brief time, kind of stuff. And Doofenshmirtz is loving it. He's like, oh, we're on the same side. Hey, you want to help rebuild my inator? You want to make me look everyone boring by comparison? I love this.
Of course, Perry can't refute his claim since he can't talk.
That's true.
But he doesn't really deny it either, so Doofenshmirtz has every right to believe it.
Then again, Perry might be able to talk. He just might be playing the long con.
Yeah, who knows?
He could. We don't know what's planned for the revival, but you know who does?
Dan and Swampy.
Yes.
I
wonder what they're up to right now. Ripple, ripple, ripple. There they are.
All right, let me get the banner in. There we go.
There we go. Now we can say it. Dan, Swampy. I ask you, sirs, gentlemen, Perry the Platypus, can he talk? Have you been waiting? Have you been holding this trump card, just in case of hey, if for some chance we get preempted, we basically hit the syndication number, we just we don't get picked up, and we want to do more, we want to come back for more, barring the occasional movie, we want to come back for a series, for a revival of our little show, and we need to sell to the network. We need a bargaining chip. Where that bargaining chip's going to be the platypus could talk the whole time, but he didn't have anything to say until we gave him that sweet animated moolah. until we gave him that incentive to come back and you know what? We need more stories to tell. You know who's going to tell it? The talking platypus, who could talk the whole time, but he just pretended like he couldn't do much
because he had nothing to say.
Exactly. You know who else said those very words? Hayao Miyazaki. with Gigi the cat.
Yep, that's where I brought it up from.
Exactly. So if it's good enough for Miyazaki, it's good enough for you too. Get with the program, guys. Now get back to that drawing board, Povenmire. Don't look at him. Look at the board. All right.
Ripple, 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 ripple.
Speaking of being bored, back to the episode.
Yeah, so Doof realizes that the way Perry's refixing it will actually create a dynamic ray, which of course he plans to bring Phineas and Ferb back to themselves.
In effect, making them a dynamic duo.
All
right.
There we go.
Very sound effects heavy episode, as you can probably guess, folks.
Yes.
All right, so they're so boring. Even Baljeet is bored out of his wits, and that takes a lot to bore Baljeet.
And Isabel tries to throw some shade. I was like, Baljeet, you speak boring. You can get them out. It's like, oh, shit, I speak boring, and you get your whittling patch was so exhilarating.
Yeah, that's really funny. It's like, yeah, Isabel is kind of a one-trick pony. Up to this point in the show, there's a lot of she pines after Phineas, and she tries to get merit badges. That's all she's got.
Yep.
Sometimes she has a dog that is very occasionally important to the plot. Very occasionally. Yep.
But yeah, so Baljeet threw some shade right back at her, which was funny, and Buford was excited to see a cat fight.
Yep.
And of course they do bore Baljeet to him and Buford to tears, not to tears, but the swirling eyes of madness.
Yep.
They're just so boring. Talking about their barometric pressure and all that.
The mundane ripples of meteorology.
It's like, Dragon, I know you're a fan of mundanity and stuff like that, but I don't think that's exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, it's I don't know, it's very kind of spare chit chat though, but it's just kind of magnified.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, it's not exactly. I don't think that's the mundanity you kind of go.
No, it's not my kind of mundane. I'm just saying it's something that's the opposite of fantastic, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. Like they do things like watch paint dry. It's like, oh, what color paint? Can it be beige? You know, the most boring paint color there is. Apparently.
What's your favorite color? Mediocre?
Mediocre?
Yep. Actually, did you ever watch the program Playground Insults?
Actually, no.
It's actually really fun to have like two celebrities essentially doing the equivalent of a Yo Mama contest. Essentially, they are basically like having playground insults, which can be very very filthy or just very childish, being the gag. They will insult each other, and the gag, the whole point is to make the other person like break, like completely laugh to the point that they can't continue. One of the great ones was Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin when they were promoting Deadpool 2. So you essentially had Cable and Deadpool's going back and forth, and there are a lot of really good insults. One of my favorite was, "What's your favorite color? Mediocre?" And another one was, "You look like an old George Hamilton."
Oh God.
Yep.
If you get the reference, my favorite color is 7.
Yep.
All right. It's like another thing they like to do apparently when they're boring. Apparently, watch golf on television.
Oh no. Yeah, that is. That you know how boring that is.
How boring is it?
That's dad boring. That's a father activity there. No one watches golf on TV unless they're fathers.
Oh no! Is that what I have to look forward to when I become a dad?
I'm afraid so.
Oh no!
You're gonna have to. It's gonna have every Sunday. You're gonna be watching golf. It's either sports or golf, but mostly golf.
Memorial tournament's right around the corner.
Exactly. You're gonna want to see that ball get in the hole. It's in the hole.
You know, I actually live near where the Memorial tournament is held. You know how it's held in like Central Ohio, right?
No.
Well, yep, that's where it is.
There you go.
Yep.
You're gonna get to watch that all day. So much golf.
I might have to go to it.
Not putt-putt. No giant, awesome plastic things. No, all golf. Maybe a cart if you're lucky, but you won't be able to ride it. You're going to watch other people, pretty much old people, ride in golf carts. Wait patiently as the ball rolls down the hill and strike it about 8 times if they're not lucky.
I actually work near the place where the tournament is held. You know, there's actually a funny story regarding like how it always rains during the Memorial tournament because of a Indian curse.
Again, folks, you probably guess is the boring portion of the podcast.
Okay, well,
go. I've said we're on brand. Tell us about the rain, Jacob.
Like, well, it's more of a local legend, really. It's like where the tournament was built. You know, Muirfield was actually built on top of some kind of Indian burial ground.
I don't know, Jake. This story's too exciting. You might have to take out the Indian burial ground.
Okay, Nada. Okay, like it's built across a sacred place.
I guess it's more boring. Go on.
Like, and it always precipitates every year around this time.
There are more weather jargon. This is good. This is extra boring. Keep going.
And because of the sacredness of this supposed place, there's this local legend about this chief, that this Native American chief that went by the name of Leatherlips.
That's too cool a name. We gotta give him something lamer.
Well, I'm trying not to invoke the curse myself.
Okay. So the point being, we have a guy with a big hat.
We have a deep leather lips. Supposedly cursed them from. I don't know if he was. I think he was already dead, but supposedly cursed the tournament to always rain when the tournament is nearby.
Okay.
And that's why it always rains when the memorial tournament's going on.
So you're saying it's going to rain tomorrow? Well, it's going to rain soon.
Well, technically, it started yesterday, so yeah, the rain is going to be coming.
There you go.
Yep.
Aquatet, are you dead of boredom? Just let us know.
Someone give these kids another disco miniature golf hole.
The thing is, if he's died of boredom, then we're doing the job for this episode.
It's like man, it's not golf in miniature; it's miniature golf.
Exactly.
I would love their miniature golf course.
I would also love their miniature golf course. That's the way to golf.
Like, I haven't been putt-putting in years. But all right, back to the episode.
Yeah.
Like they try and get the boys' creative juices flowing with blueprints.
A whole song about blueprints.
Yes, which Doof joins in too.
Okay, that is actually a good mundane song here about the blueprints.
Yep, Doofenshmirtz is having a blast, and Perry's just like, "Why am I doing this?"
Yep. Well, I'm in the room. I'm obligated to do the song.
Yep, including dressing like the Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
I'm still alive for some reason. I blame Carl.
Yeah, Carl. Oh man, poor Aquatet. Carl gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Oh God. Oh, the horror.
Well,
He's an unwashed intern. Oh God.
It is horrific, but it's not worthy of a "Dang it, Carl" segment just yet.
No, not yet. Not
yet. Not yet. No.
No.
So sorry to hear that, Aquatet.
Yep. So we have that Dr. Hans Doofenshmirtz with the platypus like a son to him.
As we determine in the next episode.
Yep. It's official. It's canon.
Well, that's like a son, more like family.
Sure. You know, son, adopted son. You know, a daughter, maybe a daughter, maybe another daughter.
I guess.
You know, step cousin. Another option.
All right. So it turns out what the boys built was a very small box with rockets taped to it, basically.
Yep. Lame. Basically, it's kind of a birdhouse with kind of like a Chinese early Chinese fireworks kind of vibe.
Oh my gosh!
No, you remember that whole thing? Remember the throne, like the chair that lifted with the fireworks. You remember that, right?
Yeah, like in the ancient Chinese legend.
Yeah, that's the thing. We saw it like referenced in Kung Fu Panda, but it's based on the legend. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's basically like a little birdhouse version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
There you go.
I'm also familiar with that supposedly apocryphal story of the guy who fell in love with his reflection and drowned.
You mean that wasn't a true story?
I don't think it was true. I mean, there's no proven that it was. He said it might be a legend, it might be true. Nobody knows for sure.
Well, I mean, you're right. Tom Brady's still alive, so it's obviously not true. Okay, so
that's a little interesting. Oh, sorry about that, Aquatet. We'll try and We'll try and make it more boring from now on.
Jacob, you're losing the audience. You're making things too exciting. Stop making things exciting.
Where's Ben Stein when you need him?
Exactly. We gotta do like a Ben Stein impression for the rest of this half of the podcast.
Well, you see, after that, Candace accidentally steps into the device, and it takes her flying away.
But now shake Wacko's hand while you're doing the podcast.
It's like, yes, of course. If we have an episode where Candace starts building things and the boys try to bust her, maybe. We have Claude here. So.
Hi, Claude. Welcome to the most boring half of the podcast you've ever listened to.
It's like, if you notice, we're trying to be boring.
Trying to be extremely boring.
This isn't the same with that. This isn't the same without Code Geass.
Yeah, he knows boredom. He's seen all of these podcasts. He knows exactly how boring we can be.
Well, maybe he's holding off on it to make it more boring.
That's a fair point. But he's going to show up late, though. We need to be bored now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
So after...
I'm sorry, go on.
So Candace flies away and everyone chases after her. Phineas even starts counting the sparkly bits on the sidewalk.
Now, fun thing about the sparkly bits in the sidewalk, over time, that's kind of like it's kind of like how on a, it's kind of like how when they repave the roads, or like more like a parking lot, I guess, less the road paving. Like we have a parking lot, over time, like the gravel that
boring for soup.
There you go. Yeah, so like you'll notice like over time, like when they repave a road or like a parking lot, you'll have like all these little pieces of gravel that are in there. Like basically over time, like the rocks end up there, and I guess like through the hot sun or through like like the cars just kind of driving over the gravel, it kind of gets embedded in there. And I can imagine maybe it's a similar thing, like when they're pouring the concrete, you get a little sparkly stuff, little just like. I don't know, like probably fragments of glass from maybe car accidents as well. But yeah, there's a lot of sparkly stuff. Isn't cement exciting?
Very. It is extremely exciting.
Bueller?
Anyone?
Okay. Mr. Ribkiss, if I say yes, will you leave this office?
Finally, something more boring than we are.
No.
Well,
let's have the most boring tangent we can. Jacob, can you imagine what it would be like if Ben Stein actually had a rap career? Should we talk about that for a while? So I imagine he could be the proper Flavor Flav of the generation. He could get a reality show. I think Ben Stein. He could woe the chickies.
Have you heard of MC Hawking?
No. Why don't you tell us about that, Jacob? Tell us all about MC Hawking.
Well, basically, it's not actually. Well, it's not actually Stephen Hawking, as you can imagine, but. It's actually this guy who's like a speech software similar to what he does, and obviously does songs and basically called nerdcore.
All right, that's very interesting, Jacob. Yeah.
And so if that could happen, then Ben Stein probably could have done something.
I guess he could have. Yeah. He just he'd top all the charts that Ben Stein. He basically. Ben Stein would actually raise to the top of the charts of his rap career because you'd have all the you'd be playing at night, and everyone be falling asleep, the best sleep aid ever. It'd also be responsible for many car accidents. Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
I'm so bored I can't remember where we're at in the episode. Why don't you tell us?
It's like so back to Doofenshmirtz and Perry. Doof is still convinced that Perry's gonna fire it at him to make Doof more interesting. But as it turns out, they get into it. Like, oh, look, we're arguing over the remote like an old married couple. It's not cute. He's like, I'm gonna get my own talk show. The funny thing is, he had several animated shorts on YouTube called Doofenshmirtz's Daily Dirt, where it's kind of like a talk show almost, but no guests or anything. But where it's basically daily vlogs, kind of thing.
Huh.
They've unfortunately been scrubbed off the internet.
Back to boring.
Yes, they're boring.
Well, they weren't. Back to boring. Like, no, something was exciting, and now it's gone, so we're back to boring. The boring status quo has been restored.
Yes.
I'm so disinterested. This is perfect.
So anyway, it's like so the usual happens. Like Perry stops Doof again as the beam fires, but the thing is, it actually misses Phineas and Ferb again.
Yep.
So
the boys eventually, they build like a big old slide to help
well,
Candace.
they try and come up with an idea to try and come up with some way to do it. Like, get a ladder or something. No, that would be boring. And then Isabella gets better. Do what you guys do best. Be creative. And then they see all the stuff around them. I know what we should have done today. So they overcame. So they basically overcame the dull and boring-inator all by themselves.
Yep.
In order to save their sister. Which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit of a cop out. Okay, this miraculously got over it.
Well, I mean, it's more. You had to think it's less boring than just them getting hit by the inator again.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what we needed, though.
It would just be boring.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to admit the result of that wasn't boring though.
Yeah, so let's notice the end of the episode is really great.
So Candace decides to make the best of the rest of her day and decides to actually spend some time with Linda. However,
Linda, she got hit with the dynamic ray. She's singing about groceries. Making food.
Making snacks, yeah.
Yep.
It's like she was hit with a dynamic ray or something.
Then off Perry goes back to Doofenshmirtz's door. Really? And the endless cycle goes on.
Yes.
Here, one last boring tangent, then we'll liven things up. Imagine if Ray Romano and Ben Stein had a love child.
Oh God!
Just imagine that. Just imagine like of course Ray Romano, great performer. Usually has good energy, but also at many a time can play kind of a sloven. Kind of like we've seen him, kind of beaten down or basically kind of beaten down by his family in that show we can't talk about.
Why can't we talk about it?
Well, you know why we can't talk about it. Come on, man.
Actually, I don't.
Yeah, because the YouTube doesn't like when we talk about a show.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, well,
I
don't know. I don't think we're in any real danger. But Tiki's convinced that we are. So it's like it's happened before, like twice, like during the Christmas and the Halloween episode. So
just mentioning it.
Yeah, man, that's that Christmas in July episode. I'm pretty sure is missing. It was that or the Halloween one, but I think it's I think it's the Christmas one.
Okay.
Yeah, the toaster. Anyway, yeah. So imagine how boring that would be. Like Ben Stein, a low energy Ray Romano, just spawning, and you'd have this most boring, this boring big nosed child you've ever seen. Like, there you go.
Oh God.
Yep. Again, folks, you're probably wondering how much boring could this podcast be, and then we do something like that. But you're in luck. We've reached the end of the boring part of the episode.
I'm gonna kick this off a bit early, but there we go.
All right.
Was that exciting enough for you?
Not remotely.
All right. Let's move on to something else then. A real boy.
Oh, this episode is it's spine-tinglingly exciting. He's got Norm. We like Norm. Norm. He's back. John Viner. Hooray.
It's like, Norm wants to be a real boy.
Oh, I learned something really cool about John Viner recently. You want to hear about it?
What about it?
John Viner?
Yeah, what about him?
Was in the running for Mork and Mindy.
Oh, nice.
That's the thing. Before Robin Williams came in, he was. I don't know how close he was to really getting it, but he was. They wanted an impressionist, which he was at the time. So Viner, he was in. He was one of the guys.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
I mean, assuming that there's not like another John Viner. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the same guy. So yeah.
I didn't know that he was in the running for that.
As I'm saying, it would have been really young at the time, which again is what they were looking for. They were looking for kind of like a young kind of teen kind of thing. So probably it's.
But they got Robin Williams.
Yeah, but as Aquatad said, losing to Robin Williams, it is an honor. It is an honor.
Yep. I mean, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is a good episode.
Yep. Yep. We get to see the beginning of Norm's day.
I love this. I love Norm's. This is mundane all the right ways here. So Norm, it's his morning routine. He covers all the holes that he accidentally bashes into the wall. Pictures of Doofenshmirtz. It's just the whole wall. It's like a straight line.
You think you would have learned? You think you would have learned after the first couple times?
Jacob, he runs on squirrel power.
Yeah, but he obviously remembers a lot of other stuff too.
But Jacob, he can't separate the eggshells from the eggs when he's making an omelet.
I mean, that's just his own. That's his preference. Remember, he likes them crunchy.
All right. Yeah. All right, fine. He just hates that wall then. Okay, so he paints on a suit. He's got like different heads that are all like, like in quotes, different heads. Like they're all the same exact expression, but they're all like labeled otherwise.
Yep. So he prepares breakfast while Doof is in a video call with Rodney. And Rodney's son, Orville.
I love his show.
His show? The Orville.
Well,
right?
the Orville. It's a dumb joke, but yeah.
Yes, it is.
I know, yeah, it is. Exactly. That's why I made
it. But we never actually see him again.
Wait, what?
We never see Orville again.
Put him back on the screen.
But first, I don't want to see Norm making a taco with a cheese and first, then tomatoes, then meat. Yeah, and he's completely leaving out the lettuce.
Also, the shell.
I think the shell is implied in that.
Maybe it's implied, but it's Norm. We don't know.
But I said you need lettuce. You need lettuce.
Maybe Norm's using the lettuce as the shell. What's the problem? That's what I'm worried about.
Well, I mean, there are lettuce buns.
Would you eat a lettuce taco?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay.
All right.
Then, Swampy, why did you kill Rodney's son? Why did you kill Orville? You guys are fathers. Look how you massacred his boy.
And I think in Swampy's case, he's a grandfather.
Swampy, that's 2 generations, man. Come on.
I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think it's the case.
Well, either way, it's an insult. Either it's an insult to again him being a grandfather and doing this, or Jacob calling Swampy an old man. So either way. You hear that, Swampy? I'm calling you insensitive. He's calling you old. It's just the fact that...
You know when Swampy was born?
You tell me.
December 1960.
There you go.
Yeah.
6 years pre Adam West Batman.
And Dan was actually born in 63.
Okay.
So yeah.
Anyway, so it's just guys, you gave Rodney a son and you're never going to show him again. And we have like a whole thing where Doofenshmirtz has a kid and we're not really going to do anything with that, really. That's a missed opportunity there. Again, something to explore. in the revival.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see what happens, what has happened to Orville after the events of a certain episode in season 4.
There you go.
Maybe that'll be explored if they remember he exists.
All right.
All right.
Back to the sad robot.
Well, he's not sad yet.
Well, look at this image. There's a sad robot.
Yes, it is. Not a bad robot, a sad robot.
One letter off.
Yes.
By the way, I've mentioned this before. He's looking at this image and this whole plot line for this episode. It's like Norm very much modeled in part after Jaime the Robot. But surely, I mean, they would have been really young when they were watching this, but Get Smart. They would have seen Get Smart when they were growing up. Dan and Swampy.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible.
There's a lot of Jaime the Robot in Norm. Just this chipper, just kind of very literal. This kind of he's a robot wearing a suit.
And he's even in the beginning was stocked full of 1950s style phrases.
There you go.
Norm looks sympathetic. We have Code Geass. He did show up for the more exciting one.
Yeah, I knew it. Code Geass willfully ignored the most boring part of our podcast.
How did we know?
He cheated.
Yep.
You have to sit through the boring parts like everyone else.
Well.
We worked hard to be boring, darn you. You could have helped us. You know how boring we can be. You could have given us notes.
We could be boring again.
No, the time's passed. We have to be exciting now. We have to be cool. We have to be awesome.
All right.
We have to be extreme.
Extreme!
Yeah! XX, man, yeah!
Extreme with a capital X.
Yeah! Get some!
We willed him into existence and another finger on the monkey's paw curls. I trust you to be charming and funny and you don't disappoint. Well, I appreciate the kind words there.
He doesn't have faith in our ability to be boring.
Uh-huh. Always looking for the silver lining, aren't you, Dragon?
In this case, not remotely.
There you go.
There you go.
Because that'd be boring.
Yes. Anyway, so let's speak. Forget the sad robot. He's not sad yet. You know who's really sad, or at least seemingly really sad?
Vanessa. Yeah, she supposedly hears Doof say something, like talking about how he'd rather have a son.
Yep. And of course, it's a classic sitcom misunderstanding.
To paraphrase an earlier song lyric, it's a sitcom cliche.
Yep.
It's like, and even when Perry shows up, it's like, this isn't like a sitcom, Perry the Blood. This is real life. And
it's a good line.
Yeah, he looks at the camera like, it's like, I'm like, are you sure about that, Doof? Like, and I'm the father. Oh God.
Yep. So that's a lot of fun. Just the whole meta sitcom comedy, and very Frasier-esque. Of course, Frasier very very well known for the misunderstanding comedy.
Yep.
Someone walks in overhearing the wrong thing, and it leads to this bedlam. So a little bit of that going on here, where it's like, no, Vanessa. So you feel bad for Doof. He feels like he's really hurt her feelings, and like, oh man, and for even less him, just more like, oh, that poor Vanessa. And
then Norm comes in. It's like, I always thought of you as my father. Not now, Norm.
So Norm can't catch a break.
Yeah. And speaking of Frasier, it's a shame that we've never had Kelsey Grammer on this show.
I will refer you to the revival. There is still a chance. We could get the kills. I love the kills. You love the kills. Everyone loves the Kells. You know what? The Kells is on the rebound, baby, with the Frasier revival.
Yeah, it would be nice to have him in here.
As I was saying, he's doing a Frasier revival. Surely we can get him to do some other stuff. Plus, he likes voice work.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Sideshow Bob.
Oh yeah. Toy Story 2.
Oh yeah. So I think it would be nice to have him in there.
But yeah, so classic, kind of sitcom misunderstanding.
I just saw the classic. I just actually saw a clip from Frasier the other day.
Oh yeah, which one?
Like the electronic microscope one.
Oh yeah.
It's like where it's like there's a electronic microscope that can like zoom in on the tiniest bit of. Even if I use that, I could not find it out to me caring about your problem. I butchered that line, by the way, but that's essentially what I was talking about.
Wait, so this is from the new Frasier, right?
I think that's from the old one.
Yeah, it sounds right because I don't think we wouldn't have had any cause for the microscope gig. Okay. Yeah.
It definitely it was the old one because he was talking about because he was doing the radio show.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And I haven't seen the new one, but I don't think he does the radio show in the new one, right? Because he's
no, he doesn't. No,
he's like a teacher, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, he basically so the Frasier reboot. It's a continuation, so it's it's more a revival than is a reboot. I think it's technically labeled a reboot, so that's the weird discrepancy because it's the same. It's pretty much the same show, but a few differences. Just
like decades later.
Yeah, it's decades later. So the idea is like Frasier has he moved on. The last episode of Frasier, he basically left. He moved out of town, so the radio show ended.
Yeah.
So basically, in between, he got a TV show where he basically played kind of like a charming, more charming version of Dr. Phil. So it's kind of meta. So it's like, okay, what if you were kind of acknowledging the success of the show, like within the show?
All right.
Anyway, so the point being, it's like he becomes. It's the same premise of Frasier, where it's like he's now the father, moving in with his son.
History repeats.
I tell you, if anyone's like on the fence about, oh, I love the old Frasier, I'm not sure about this new one. I get the hesitation. I do. Is it going to top the old Frasier? Heck no. Is it worth watching? Yes, it is. And
for Kelsey,
for the Kells, but watch that first episode, man. The first episode, that'll be the one. Because they address like the loss of John Mahoney, and it's really beautiful the way they do it. So it's like Frasier. It's no David Hyde Pierce, sadly, at least not yet.
It's like Kelsey Grammer was in the Ghost McGee as Abraham Lincoln.
Yep, there you go.
Since Disney has more of Kelsey Grammer could Tars the Beast.
He could.
Kelsey Grammer randomly creates an episode of Phineas and Ferb starts singing the entirety of HMS Pinafore for no particular reason.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, so basically, Doofenshmirtz has made Norm sad because Norm wants Doof to see him as his son.
And AKA he wants Doofenshmirtz to be his non-biological father.
It'd be kind of weird if he was.
Yep.
For a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Anyways, like back at the boys' house, they built I don't know what those things are called. Do you know what those things are called?
Did I message you asking you to look into this or no?
You didn't.
Crap, I thought I did.
No.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's like the little it's kind of like the Trouble board game when you kind of hit you pop all. It's kind of like two things. Like it's like the Trouble board game when you hit like the dice that pop in a little bubble, and it's more so like the game where you put all the shapes in, and then they just kind of like pops them all out. Yeah.
And it's like well, whatever it is, it's like one of those things you press down and they pop up, but they built a big one.
Yep.
And it looks like it's fun, but we just don't know what it's called.
Yep. That's kind of the point, though.
Yep. And this is another episode where Ferb doesn't actually speak.
Well, it's because he's too stunned seeing Vanessa's in this episode. He's too like, oh my god, Vanessa's in this episode. What do I say? I'm going to do my impression of Gigi at the end of Kiki's literature. I'm not going to say anything.
We're bringing Kiki up a lot in this episode.
And why shouldn't we?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm concerned we just got done with Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm.
Which was actually a lot of fun. Can't wait to do next year's run of Miyazaki.
Oh yeah.
I hope you guys all enjoyed that. By the way, Norma's arguably as sympathetic an antagonist as Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
If anyone was bored by Miyazaki, this is the podcast to tell us about it.
And then I think it's called a popper. I mean, that makes sense, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, it's a very unimaginative title, but yes.
You could say it's boring.
There you go.
It's a boring name.
It's a boring old title.
I think Kogias did like the Studio Ghibli stuff. So thank you. We'll be back. We'll be back next year with more of that.
All right.
Anyway. So meanwhile, Candace is preparing for a day with Jeremy and having Stacy hypnotize her.
Yes, Candace's plot line this episode is she does basically she wants to not give in to her impulse to bust the boys so she can be with Jeremy. So to do that, she's having Stacy, played by the incomparable
Kelly Who.
Who?
Yes, exactly.
She's like an owl of talent, Kelly. Who? That's who.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the Who.
The what?
Exactly.
Oh, the Who.
Yes.
All right.
There we go.
You bored yet, Code Geass? I know it's a little late, but I thought I'd ask.
Like, Claude hopes that Vanessa's one of the main characters in the revival.
I think we all would hope that.
Well, I mean, Olivia Olsen's now one of the writers of the new season, so.
I mean, they got her. She's in the room.
Yeah, she's one of the writers now, so. Kogias wants Stacy to be in a major role.
We all want Stacy in a major role.
More
Vanessa, more Stacy. That's how you make the best revival ever, guys.
Some background and some stuff that Dan posted on YouTube and TikTok have revealed that Stacy's definitely reappearing. I don't know about being a main character or anything, but we haven't seen the last of her, that's for sure. We will be seeing her this season. This new season, anyway.
I mean, guys, let's face it. Kelly Who, she needs the work. Okay? She needs help. And this revival is it's going to put food on our plate, guys. We got to get Kelly Who some work. Okay? Because, I mean, we've seen Sandra, and we know Sandra, she's not doing well at all right now. It's not like she's on the sympathizer or anything. She's like, we don't want Kelly Who to end up like Sandra, we don't want her to end up, successful. We want her just to be, we want to give her something to shoot for. Yeah.
Anyway, Stacy managed to hypnotize Candace, and for some reason Candace has a poster about the history of hypnotism in her room.
Well, it's again, Jacob, we know why it's in there. She's trying to bore herself to sleep.
It's like, why would I have bought that poster? Well, now we know the answer.
Yep.
She reads it, and she falls asleep. I mean, maybe that's my problem. I have too many colorful and bright posters in my room.
Yeah.
I need to get this hypnotizing poster. Maybe that'll help.
Yep.
So it's like, Stacy provides Candace with a couple trigger phrases with the hypnosis: leaping lizards and holy guacamole. Leaping lizards to go back into busting mode, and holy guacamole to focus on Jeremy. So that works. So that all works, and that's all we see of Stacy this episode. She was only here for a moment, but it was nice. So, think so. Meanwhile, Doof is actually trying to solve the situation with using the equation with Vanessa using the forget about it-inator. Which apparently he used to celebrate the Alamo, but he forgot about it.
Okay, this is my favorite joke in the episode.
Remember the Alamo. But he forgot the Alamo.
Of course, I have to imagine big reference to Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I remember the Alamo.
Yeah, but Duke forgot the Alamo.
Exactly. Well, sure. It's the anniversary of the Alamo. Is the fact that I don't know. It's just really funny.
It is funny, yeah. And that's another person we don't think we ever got. I don't think we ever got Paul Rubens in here either.
Oh, we can't have that one for the revival, unfortunately.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
He's busy.
Yeah, busy elsewhere.
Yeah. He's on the other Big Adventure, kids. Sad to say.
Yes. Wasn't that joke also in Last Train to Busan? Kind of. Ken, one of the lines in the song was like, I forgot the Alamo.
There you go.
So yeah, it's like a lot.
Everyone's forgetting the Alamo.
That's not good. You got to remember that stuff.
Yeah, go visit the Alamo, kids. It's not going anywhere. Go visit it.
Yeah, and you'll never forget.
I'll tell you what's not the Alamo.
The Alamo.
Well, you're right. Pee Wee Herman's bicycle's not there.
Dang it.
It was thought to be. Wasn't one time.
But it's
not
not
anymore.
But it's not.
No.
Like, remember the Alamo.
Remember the pie?
Yes.
Okay. Give him the pie!
The Alamo! What's the Alamo?
All right.
Oh God. I'm gonna bring that. I bring that up every time they bring up the Alamo.
All right. Okay, so.
Yep. So meanwhile, Candace is on her at the park with Jeremy, where a little gecko comes up to his foot.
So leaping lizards.
Like, well, it's like except he avoids saying it in every other way possible, like gallivanting gecko, things like that.
Yep.
And then it's like, I gotta go bust my brothers. After
My girl.
It's like, that's my girl. he's a good guy.
He is. She doesn't deserve him.
Yep. He's probably too understanding.
Yep.
But maybe that's one of the things he likes about her. We don't know.
Yep, he likes a crazy redhead.
It's like, remember, we don't know what he likes about her.
You're right, we don't.
Like, we got preempted by a football game or soccer game, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that is one of the things he likes about her.
I just like it when she ditches me.
But he understands it's like what she's got to do.
Yep. I love when she runs away from me.
Yep. So as
watching her leave.
Yep. So as it turns out, Vanessa didn't actually hear what Doofenshmirtz said earlier, and was just wearing headphones.
Yep. So whole thing just avoided.
Yep. Meanwhile, Norm's having a bit of a crisis.
He's having a musical crisis. Basically, Norm wants to be a real boy, and we have essentially, equivalent to a real boy band with himself.
Yep, and it's like not too long ago, maybe might have been like within the last few years or so. Dan actually posted on his YouTube channel some background video of John Viner actually recording the song.
Huh.
Yep. So I'm hoping Norm does come back for the revival too.
I know one thing: if Norm doesn't come back for the revival, what's the point?
Dragon, do you want to say some words then?
Yeah, sure. Boys,
you better bring back Norm.
Television is not what it is without everyone gleefully saying to their TV screens or their laptops or what have you, Norm!
Norm!
And we won't be able to do that if you guys don't put that frickin' robot in your children's television show. We need Norm. Okay, if Norm's not, just in case it does not compute, you want success, we need Norm. Okay? Because Norm is the norm of Phineas and Ferb. We need consistency. We need Norm. Norm, there is no normalcy.
That's the norm.
Exactly.
And
Doofenshmirtz needs a lackey. That lackey is Norm. If we're lacking Norm, we have no lackey.
That was foreshadowing, by the way.
Yeah?
That's the norm.
There you go.
It's like,
so again, if you don't want a barrage of angry fan mail or angry messages or just I don't know, there's like maybe some rocks being chucked at the studio. Nothing dangerous, like rocks.
Trust me, Dragon, there are quite a few episodes upcoming that do focus on Norm.
Well, I know that. Thank goodness. I'm just saying for this revival though, we got to get some Norm. Okay? We still got to get some Norm.
Oh yeah.
You've been warned. Okay, this is your Norm warning. You know, you're norming. We're gonna storm the beaches of Normandy if you don't bring back that robot.
Jeremy is the boyfriend we all need.
It's like the Iron Giant mixed with Ron Howard. We need Norm.
We need Norm, yes.
Yep.
Like
he's the dopey opie. We need him.
I wonder how Norm and Baymax would interact.
Oh, they get along famously. You know, they'd hang out. You know,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain?
Emotional pain, 20.
I mean, that entire movie is literally about overcoming mental trauma, or emotional trauma.
Yep.
So it actually kind of works.
Yeah, but God forbid one character discover menstruation, though.
Okay.
The Baymax show they did. Remember?
I know.
Okay.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, Dragon.
Very good. All right, let's see. So Norm is Doof's Shigo.
Yep. And either that or Vanessa is, and she is as well.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Vanessa, here's the thing: if Vanessa are more active, if you combined them, you'd have Shigo. But yeah, I mean, Vanessa's more Shigo.
But neither of them have the glowy hands, though.
You're right. Norm's kind of more Smee to Doofenshmirtz Captain Hook.
Yeah, that's probably a closer. It's probably a closer comparison.
I still love the animation from Peter Pan, where we have like the seagull like perched on Captain Hook's face when he's getting like the shave. Smee just like, you know, like shaves like the bottom part of the seagull. So basically have like the butt is exactly like Captain Hook's chin, but it has like the shave marks on and everything. That's great.
Oh god. Speaking of birds, did you see that we're getting a new Donald Duck shorts soon?
Well, as we should. I think he turns 90 this year.
Yeah, but it's directed by Mark Henn.
I like me some Mark Henn.
Yeah, but I think it was like one of the final things he did for the studio before he retired.
No.
So we're getting it sometime, I think, this weekend. I think Sunday.
Nice.
But don't quote me on that. I know it's soon, though.
Sounds right, Donald. Sorry.
90th birthday.
Yeah, his 90th birthday's.
Happy birthday this month. Happy birthday, Donald Fauntleroy Duck.
Really? It's Fauntleroy?
Yeah, his middle name is Fauntleroy.
They named him after the pants.
Yep.
Crazy.
He's like one of the few of those characters to explicitly have a middle name.
Okay.
Donald Fauntleroy Duck.
They must have hated him.
Well, I love the Kim Possible and Phineas and Ferb crossover.
That would be great. Not in the cards.
Probably not. Unless they do a revival of Kim Possible as well.
Yeah.
Which, Squirrely McCorkle kind of hinted at, possibly, but who knows?
Yeah.
Outside of the live-action one, obviously. I mean, I think they're still back with Disney, right?
What do you mean?
Like, are they still with Disney, or did they move on to another place?
I don't know. I thought they
Because
they finished their contract with Big Hero 6. I don't know if they're doing anything else.
I don't know. Maybe they're working on something. I thought they were working on something, but I could be mistaken. Okay, but like all this other stuff aside, we should get back to this episode.
Well, go on.
All right, so Perry tricks Doof. He accidentally fires the forget about it inator at himself, and Norm tricks him into thinking he's his son.
Oh, this is great. This is a brilliant idea.
He was like, I'm your son. It's like, really? And what do you also like eggs? You also like eggs with the shells in them. It's like, what kind of freak am I? It's like, that's a good question, isn't it? It's like, meanwhile, doing his adult state causes him to keep firing the forget about it in nature. And a surprising thing, Linda actually sees Phineas and Ferb's invention.
Okay, this is a great twist. Here's the idea. Okay, Linda finally sees it, and Candace is like about to get everything she ever wants. The boys have to come down, and before they can come down, she keeps getting zapped, and then just Candace keeps telling her, and it's just, oh, it's not happening.
Oh yeah, it's like she's like, okay, what do you want me to look at, Candace? Look, there it is. It's like, oh, boys, what are you doing? And then like, so what do you want me to look at, Candace? And then when she sees it again, she's like, holy guacamole, what is that? Causes Candace to run back to Jeremy. She gets zapped again, finds Perry, and everything's fine.
It all worked out.
Yep. And of course, it's like, you're that junk pile, Norm. You're not my son. and then Vanessa gives him headphones. Like, here, use this. It helps. Like, thanks, sis.
That was adorable. That was very nice. Jacob, how do you read? Do you read it as Norm is Doofenshmirtz's son, or like his son, his like that Doofenshmirtz is Norm's non-biological father? Like, what do you think?
Like, it's fun. Norm definitely sees himself as Doof's son.
But like, did he build him or just adopt him? Like, what do you think?
He built him. He built him. Remember in the episode in Grease Lightning, he was built.
Oh yeah, but Doofenshmirtz always like surprised by like things about Norm though. It's like he runs on squirrel power, so that makes me wonder sometimes. Like, did he actually?
I think Doofenshmirtz just forgets.
He does.
It's like thanks, sis. You're welcome, bro.
It's adorable.
Yeah, Doofenshmirtz's kids.
Yep, they look just like each other.
You can see the resemblance.
Yeah.
So we see Norm sitting in his closet once again.
I was listening to music, all angsty.
Yep, it's like I'm gonna try and get the exact wording here. It's like, Norm, it occurs to me that even though I've never had a son, there is someone I can always count on to be there. Someone I've begun to think of as family. Yes, and that someone is Barry the Platypus. See you around, junk pile. It's just like one final salt in the wound.
Jacob?
Yes?
Do you know what time it is?
I think I do, Dragon. It's
Gritty Reboot time! Alright, so Doofenshmirtz has insulted Norm for the last time. Norm, he's just so despondent. He's going to grab Doofenshmirtz and he's gonna chuck him off the roof like during the other moment where he's just like, "Oh yeah, John, you're just a junk pile." No, and he's like, "That's it," and he's like tosses him off the side.
Patricide.
Yep. It's like, "Did you kill your father?" No, he wasn't my father. He made that very clear.
Exact words.
Yep.
It's like,
I even have a recording of it.
Like, but I'm not your father.
See? Not my fault.
Oh yeah. Like, then how do you? Then what's that? When he died of natural causes?
Yes. Natural causes.
Oh, gravity's natural.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I stole that joke. Just like I stole his life. Norm could probably get away with it. Now the question is, would Norm really want to?
I think he'd feel guilty.
But do you think he'd ever get over it?
Well, I don't know. Like, I think he'd be back to normal, like, like 4 days. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think, like, after a while, he'd be like, I'm.
He's like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
He's like, he'll never be my father now.
He's in pieces. I'll have to clone him.
Oh yeah.
Or Norm was put in like a program where he's going to imagine or have like a holographic projection of Doofenshmirtz, and that's how he'll, be able to keep the show going.
Oh, like basically, like he goes into like a dream state of like, or like his mind, like he's in like some kind of machine or like attached to like a device to go to a dream where Doofenshmirtz is actually his father. Like kind of like for the man who has everything kind of thing.
Yep.
I figured
it might be like an Oedipus thing where he's gonna like go after Charlene.
Dragon, I was trying to avoid that kind of reaction.
Well, not like that. I mean, is like now I want now I want to be recognized as Charlene's son.
Then that's not exactly like Oedipus, then.
No, you're right. It's not exactly like Oedipus. I was trying to clean up the Oedipus thing a little bit, but yeah.
I know, it's like...
He's going after the mother's affection, so it's a very boiled down version of Oedipus, but you're right, it doesn't quite go as horrific, but we are in the gritty reboot, so...
Yeah, like
I don't know. I'm taking a leap they probably killed Doofenshmirtz in getting there.
Yeah, Oedipus is quite a different story there.
I know it's quite a different story. I'm just saying, it's like kind
I mean, remember Hercules even referenced that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, one of the writers of this episode actually worked on Hercules.
There you go.
Like Aliki Theophilopoulos Grab, to be specific, she worked as like either I think an in-between artist or something like that on like some movies during the Renaissance, and one of them actually was Hercules.
I guess we put the Gladiator.
Hercules.
Alright.
This is my favorite gritty reboot. Yeah, like Oedipus Rex stuff. Like we're historical.
There you go.
We had to read Oedipus Rex in high school. Where did you ever read Oedipus Rex?
Yeah, I don't remember how far back though, but yeah, I mean, I remember there was like a little pamphlet about it, and we read that, and then there was like I don't know if we literally read the whole book after that, or if it was like there's like the whole book in like printed like a.
Well, we read it as like a stage play kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a thing. So I don't know how much of that was like. Anyway.
So the actual episode ends with Doofenshmirtz saying that line to Norm, and then like Apology accepted, Dad.
Just the idea of him like trying an apology of sorts. It's like, no, my real son's part of the platypus. You're just part of junk.
Yeah. Apology accepted.
Yep.
Even though you can tell he's basically thinking, I'll take what I can get.
But just to double back for a moment with the Great Reboot, I just realized the Great Reboot I threw out, terrible. Better Gritty Reboot.
Okay.
What we see in the episode, Norm actually has the capacity to take out Perry Platypus should he choose. So I mean, if it's like I can get my father's love and affection if I get rid of this stupid platypus, that's basically supplanting my love for him. I just basically it's like oh, who's that guy? Taken care of, Dad, and basically pretty much guides Perry the Platypus off the roof. What if you threw him off the roof, like right there, just like I'll get rid of Perry the Platypus. Oh God, why didn't I see this coming at all? And just gets like crumpled up into a ball or something, like tossed off the roof.
It's like I'll just highlight this dragon.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that's actually not too far off from a future episode.
Okay.
Not exactly. He doesn't exactly try throwing him off a cliff or throwing off the building or anything, but let's just say when Doofenshmirtz is busy, Norm gets his hands dirty.
There you go. It's like, oh, but the happy-go-lucky John Viner's doing these horrific things.
All with a cheerful voice.
I didn't know that tail could detach. Like, oh, the blood. This is a stylish hat. I'm going to keep this.
This is a very nice hat.
Yep.
Too bad it doesn't fit me.
Yep. Oh, look. Your owner's heads can be themed tombstones. Look at the shapes.
That would actually be very terrifying.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Just I mean, I'm sure there are actually people out there like that.
Yep.
So it's like we're bringing the real world into this one, folks.
Yeah, there you go.
Even with the giant robot, man.
Yep.
All right.
A painted suit.
It's a nice looking suit, though. You gotta admit.
Yep, it's brand new too.
Brand new suit every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a coat of paint; it's a suit of paint.
Yep. I wouldn't try and imitate it though. Might get in trouble.
I can only imagine what the Doofenshmirtz paint budget is like.
Not cheap.
Probably not, unless Norm is conservative with his paint.
Maybe. Or maybe it's turpentine. Maybe the suit's there and he's just sanding away the other thing he put on. So it's kind of like multiple layers over. Like he did a year of painting the suit on, but it's like on and off. So you have the suit and then the pajamas, and they can like the turpentine like a layer away a day.
And we're back to the boring topics.
So boring.
Food, water, atmosphere.
Milkshakes with sequins.
Bow-tie
French fries.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was appropriate for this situation.
Yep.
What goes around comes around.
Yep.
Yes, it does. All right, I think that does it for this week, folks.
Yeah. We've bored him to tears. We did our job. So thank you, Aquatad, Code Geass, and Claude for joining us this evening. Joining us this very boring evening. But Jacob, what's happening next week?
Then, well, next week we have another episode of the Recap-inator.
Oh?
Where the boys are on a road trip. And they build a mobile truck stop.
Now that's very interesting. Let me tell you why. So if they're going to build a truck stop, that means they're going to have to go to a rural area, and they're going to have to see that there's going to be a small town, and then...
No, you don't understand. they build it on top of their RV.
But was the RV parked at a burial ground?
It's a moving RV.
Were there tires on it?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Not on the truck stop, but the
What were the specials?
you'll find out next week.
I can't wait.
All right. Good night, folks.
Good night.